So let's begin with the minority in Parliament, which is considering moves to bar the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei Owusu, from presiding over sittings in the House in the absence of the Speaker of Parliament. According to the NDC caucus, they will not be comfortable with the Bekwai MP as the presiding Speaker. This follows a controversial ruling by Mr. Osei Owusu, in which he indicated that assuming the Speaker chair does not take away the fact that he's an MP. That ruling degenerated the House into chaos, leading to the abrupt end of Thursday's sitting. MP for Bongo Edward Bauer says Joe Osei Owusu is not fit to occupy the Speaker's chair due to his posturing. He tells JoyNews he will be sad to see Joe Wise presiding over sittings going forward. He's been speaking to my colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
Yeah, these are thoughts that have gone through a lot of people's mind, including myself. And the point is this: if you look at our Order 7, the Order 7 gives a definition of who a speaker is. The Order 7 talks about Mr. Speaker himself being a speaker and any other member who presides over a sitting. And so it tells you that at the time the first Deputy Speaker was presiding, he was presiding as a speaker. That's the first point. 2, you will recall that on Tuesday, before the supposed approval of now what they call the budget, the acting clerk got up and read Order 13.2, indicating clearly that, look, Mr. Speaker was out of the jurisdiction, and that as per Order 13.2, the first Deputy Speaker was to assume the role of Mr. Speaker in all that, and that until otherwise stated, he was going to act as the Speaker of the country, of Parliament. And so if you knew this, and then you openly say that you are not the Speaker, then you have no business sitting there. Because then we are a bit confused. Because as we speak now, the head of Parliament now is the first Deputy Speaker, because the Speaker himself is out of the jurisdiction. But if the person who is supposed to hold the fort says, I am not the person, it tells us that whoever comes there in the form or shape of Honorable Joseph Osei Owusu is an imposter. And so we will not be comfortable with that. So yes, it is we are only holding him to his own words that he is not the Speaker. And so that is the challenge that we have.
So if you resume on Tuesday or any other day and he comes to the chamber as the Speaker presiding over the House, is this something you protest or what? Because I don't get it.
No.
This is a man who has been elected by Parliament to be the first Deputy Speaker. You can't challenge that. It's on record.
Yes, and that is true. And that is why we're surprised that at one point, that for him to have said that he was not the Speaker, because that's why I indicated. I said on Tuesday, before proceedings went on, the acting clerk got up and read Order 13.2. And Order 13.2 talks about in the absence of the Speaker, who acts as the Speaker. So he, as we speak today, as far as we know and as per our standing orders, he is supposed to be the Speaker.
What then happens?
As to say, he has not done that. So when we get there, we'll cross the bridge. But for us, we speak now. You know, after he suspended sitting, he refused to come to adjourn the sitting. Today, he never came. It was the second Deputy Speaker who came. Of course, the second Deputy Speaker, even in the presence of Mr. Speaker himself, and I'm talking of Right Honorable Agbansumane Bambi, the second Deputy Speaker can always come to either adjourn or maybe even start a sitting or even continue from one point. So it is not out of place. But we are saying that since that particular unfortunate incident, he himself has not had the courage to come and preside over any deliberations in the plenary.
But for the NDC, you wouldn't be comfortable having Joe Osei Owusu in the chair?
I think Ghanaians should not be comfortable with somebody that Ghanaians have entrusted with power. And he says, no, I'm not the one who is supposed to have that power. There must be a willingness on your side to act in a particular position before the state can entrust that role for you. So if the willingness of Mr. Joe Osei Owusu is that he is not the Speaker of Parliament, what it simply means is that we should be putting our faith in other things, maybe the second Deputy Speaker.
And finally, for me on this matter, I mean, you're guided by the standing orders. You can't just by word of mouth say because he said he's not the Speaker, automatically you're not comfortable, and so it should hold. You have to go through the processes to get him probably out. Is that what you're?
No, that's not where we're going. See, we just say that if he comes again now to preside over any sitting, then that would be hypocrisy of what he said himself, because by his very conduct, he indicated that he was not ready to assume the office of Mr. Speaker in the absence of Mr. Speaker outside the jurisdiction of Ghana, as per Order 13.2. So that's why we're saying, if he comes, it will be a betrayal of his own position, that I am not the Speaker. You remember that's what he said.
But apart from that, you still maintain that he continues
I will not. I will tell you. I can tell you my personal opinion, and this may not be the opinion of the caucus. I can tell you my personal opinion, which is that I'll be very sad to see him there.
The Bongo MP also urged the House not to relent on its quest to probe the alleged impersonation of the Dom Kwabena MP, Sarah Adjo-Asafo.
If for nothing at all, a body known as ASEPA or something has petitioned Parliament. Right. I think that it is only proper that Parliament takes this very seriously, because assuming that these suspicions are anything to go by and that they are true, it tells us that the integrity and the integrity of the institution of Parliament is being compromised, and that at the end of the day, Domi Kwabena people who thought that they had an individual who was representing them may not have been the person. That is something that is serious. Let's not joke with this. I am not saying that the person who appeared on Tuesday and the person who appeared on Wednesday are different. I am not also saying...
It's very convincing his mind.
No. The point is that, I mean, these are... You see, I have my personal opinion about it.
Was it the one in the chamber?
If it is,
she's a colleague.
Yeah, what I saw from the screens sitting in my office, I thought she was not the one. But it can only my position can be verified or maybe ascertained through an investigation. And I think that Parliament should be interested in conducting investigation to the end.
If you say Parliament, what exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking of Parliament, talking of the House.
Okay.
Because as we speak now, let me be very sincere, there is so much technology to ascertain as to whether the person who appeared on Tuesday and the person who appeared on Wednesday, whether they are the same people. I want us to do that.
So you're urging the House to proceed with it?
And I think that it is only fair that we do that, because there's even a formal complaint, that a petition that has been brought by a civil society organization. And it is only fair that we do justice to that particular petition.